Hey guys! So today I wanted to talk about sleep and kind of an update, but kind of sharing, I guess, my experience, what I've been learning, because this has been quite the profound change in my life recently, um, almost unexpectedly. I actually wasn't expecting such a huge change. Really, I wasn't. Um, so I'm a little blown away. I'm feeling very inspired and passionate about this topic, and I want to make a video to try to share what's been going on. Um, I've been trying to work on my sleep for years, 3 to 5. I'm not exactly sure when I started trying to hack my sleep, which just means trying to improve my quality of sleep while sleeping less hours. That's always been kind of the goal, and actually, frankly, is the goal. Still, I've just made some very big distinctions and differences recently that have changed the game completely. Um, I've done everything from sleeping 4.5 hours per night to lots of stuff. But the biggest change, the thing I want to talk about the most recently, is, and again, it's these simple cliche things that we hear often, but sleeping with no alarm. It's had radical life changing results for me, and I'm not even, that's not hyperbole, that's not exaggeration, literally life changing. And I was not expecting it to be 100%. And as someone who, and this is what can be tough sometimes, as someone who thought I knew a lot about sleep, which I would still argue I do, I was still making some poor decisions, and which was trying to optimize number of hours of sleep over quality of rest. So I was trying to get the most quality of sleep inside those hours, but was never optimizing for feeling fully rested. So what's changed? I stopped using an alarm, meaning I let my body sleep as much as needed, and I wake up when I wake up. Um, I've tried that in the past and it's failed numerous times for a few reasons. One, I always had the pressure of needing to do stuff in my hours, even though it was not a real pressure, but it was a pressure created by myself where if I had if I slept in or slept many hours, even 9 hours, I used to wake up feeling stressed if I slept 9 hours because I felt like those were hours I was missing out of my day to do the things I need to do, and often I'd say my whole life I've been under the gun financially because I haven't made good financial decisions. And so I've always felt very stressed about sleeping too much in terms of trying to get my finances, trying to create income so that I can take away that stress. So that's a reason it's failed. The other reason it's failed to do this experiment before is I didn't give myself enough time, meaning I never got through the pain period. So I've experienced this every time. I knew this would happen, and this is the first time I've actually been able to get on the other side, which is for about a week, in particularly like a concentrated few days. This time I can speak to for sure because I know the data. There were some nights I was sleeping 12 hours in bed, which is insane. And again, the me before that used to get stressed out at 9 hours can, like, I would get mega mega stressed out. Like I would wake up super not happy for sleeping in that much. And like that's how I would be starting my day. So no wonder that experiment in trying to do that never worked, is like I wasn't setting the parameters up for me to really go through it and for me to win. Where this time, I don't, particularly because I started at the holidays, which helped, but then I've also been changing my mindset around that pressure of needing to get stuff done. So I had the space to let myself sleep as much as needed, including the 12-hour days, and waking up, and even in the beginning too, you don't necessarily wake up feeling that much more rested. Like some of the days I felt shit and I felt sore for spending 12 hours in bed. But I knew going into this time I just needed to get beyond this pain period. And I even accepted, like, if this might take a month, like I don't know how much sleep debt I've accumulated through, the last few stressful years trying to run a business. So it's like, okay, I'm ready to have 12-hour nights of sleeping for a month because I really want to see this through. I've believed in it a long time. Particularly, one of the main people I follow, Tom Bilyeu, is a huge proponent of not sleeping with an alarm. And I heard a little bit more about this pain period from him. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this again. He's someone who's ultra, ultra successful, someone I want to model. If he's doing it, I can do it. I can get through it. And so the other great thing is I had a sleep tracking app that I've been using. So I've been able to track the data of when I go to bed, when I wake up, how many hours I'm sleeping in. And it has its algorithm that's producing a sleep quality percentage out of 100 based on your levels of sleep, based on many, many factors. And so I tested it, and so the profound nature that I've experienced that I did not anticipate is I didn't realize that the almost fog of overwhelm and anxiety I've been carrying for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Memory gets slippy, so I don't want to say for sure, but for sure the last year and the last year before that have been quite a struggle and a challenge, has almost gone away completely, if not 100%, 80%. It's 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 actually mind blowing in terms of how much better I feel now. And again, I didn't even anticipate that to go away. That's what I thought would happen, is I would just feel more rested, because there's other red flags throughout my day where I knew I wasn't being rested. But this overwhelming anxiety that's been just on me for, again, what feels like too long, has greatly diminished, and I'm just at a loss. It really, I didn't expect to get emotional, but it's really been profound, because it wasn't anticipated, and it was one of those things where I thought I knew a lot about sleep, and I didn't know how not rested I was, that those effects were bleeding and being the proponent of other factors. And so being on this other side, sleeping as much as I need to sleep, feeling rested in my day, has, again, if not completely, diminished a lot of the overwhelm and anxiety I felt, and must have left space to just feel happy and alive and grateful for the life I have in just the day-to-day again, and not be so stressed out about all the little things, and just enjoy the game that is life a little bit more. It's been crazy. Yeah, and what's cool is with the sleep tracking app, the data really shows, it's profound, is I go from about 6.5 hours of sleep, which is what I was giving myself with my alarm. There's this massive bubble where it goes up to 12 hours of sleep per night for a few days. and then it kind of drops back off to 9. And now I've been consistently about 8.5, 9.5. I'm sure it'll continue to refine based on what I know is if I'm consistent about my bedtime and disciplined to that, I can actually get hyper disciplined where it's likely I'll be sleeping a very same window. Some sleep experts, it's like they go to bed at the same time and they sleep precisely whatever 7 and 40 minutes every night, and they wake up exactly at the same time. So it's like that. I want to get my body in that rhythm because from a qualitative standpoint, a quality standpoint, that's really going to help. Because ultimately, I don't want to sleep this many hours. What's great is I still want to figure out how to sleep less, but I'm just not going to sacrifice the quality anymore. So I'm going to change lifestyle things and still just not use an alarm and let my body determine how much sleep it needs. So if I can improve my quality of sleep, particularly like my deep sleep and my REM sleep, I'm hoping I don't need as many hours because my body will be getting the same amount, if not more, than it is currently in less time. So like I was saying, the data on the hours is like this big curve, and then it's been settled down to about 9-ish on average. And my sleep quality goes from about 65 to 100. It's like this bell curve. It's like as I slept, it was like 60, high 60s, 70s, 80s, mid 80s. And then in the last little while, it's been like hundreds and 90s%. I don't necessarily think it's super accurate. I don't understand the 100 personally. But I feel just so much more rested. And again, I had all these red flags that I didn't know existed. I didn't know they were red flags. Like, I would wake up, I would meditate, and maybe 10% of my meditations I would stay awake through. 10%. And sometimes I'm meditating like 5-10 minutes. And I would fall asleep in them. And I didn't think that was a bad thing. I was too caught up in my shit. Same. Reading is another part of my morning routine. It's like I'd like meditate, I'd do some yoga, so I'm awake, I'd sit at my desk with a coffee, I'd be drinking my coffee, and I'd be reading an interesting book, and I'd be falling asleep at my desk. I've taken naps on my desk and on the floor meditating before in the morning. It's like there should be no there should be no need to be napping once I've just woken up after sleep. Like huge, like again, these things that are so obvious now are just not, because I was just too much trying to be focused on waking up super early, doing my morning routine and such. What was the other meditation? Oh yeah, food and coffee were. I was eating, even meals, like even relatively healthy meals, but like coffee for sure. And my foray when I go into chocolate and sugar, it was like a necessity. It wasn't because I wanted it or I was hungry or it's because I enjoyed it. It was an absolute necessity for energy. It's like I'd be so tired, I'd be clinging to coffee and chocolate and sugar so that I could just perform at my day and get things done. If not, I was just a zombie. Or it's like now on this side, it's like I tried to quit coffee again. I did quit it, and then I realized I actually enjoy it, and I don't want to quit it that badly. And now I'm drinking it because I want to, not because I need to. And now I eat more so because I want to and not because I need to. It's been profound. Like it's still like I'm in it. It's still new. I'm still decompressing it, digesting it. But I really wanted to make a video, and I'm sure I'm going to talk about it more because I think it could be a big key. Like I made some content before where it's like if you are watching this right now and you've made it through all of that, and you're struggling with overwhelm and anxiety, I would really look at the quality of your sleep. Like, it's so simple, it's so cliche, it's often overlooked. It's like all of these things. We know what we should do, yet we don't. I would really look at the quality of your sleep. And if you don't know what that looks like, message me. I'm happy to share everything I've known and have acquired. I still think the years of knowledge are super helpful. I have a ton of knowledge about sleep, how it works, how to improve it. It's just, this is one of the unlocks that I've been looking for, and didn't even know how big of a shift I would experience from this small change. I will leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.